Across the country, there is a growing buzz of excitement and, honestly, a little bit of worry. People are talking about the weather, and for a very good reason. The latest information from trusted weather experts suggests that this winter could be one for the history books. We are not just talking about a few chilly days or a light dusting of snow. Forecasters are looking at the possibility of a major, historic blizzard and a wave of record-breaking cold air. This kind of weather event is rare, and it really gets everyone's attention. For some, the idea of huge snowdrifts and a true winter wonderland is pretty exciting. You might wonder, how can we even talk about a storm that is still days or weeks away? The answer lies in something called weather models. Think of them as very smart computer programs that act like a crystal ball for meteorologists. These models take in huge amounts of current weather information from all over the world. They look at temperature, air pressure, wind speed, moisture from weather stations, satellites, weather balloons. Then, they use complex math equations to figure out how the atmosphere will behave in the future. They create a simulation of what the weather might look like tomorrow, next week, or even further out. So, where is all this record-breaking cold air coming from? It is not just your typical winter chill. This is a special kind of cold that originates from one of the coldest places on Earth, the North Pole. High up in the atmosphere, above the polar region, there is a massive area of very cold, swirling air called the polar vortex. Most of the time, this vortex stays strong and contained, locked up in the Arctic by a fast-moving ribbon of air known as the jet stream. During a normal winter, the jet stream acts like a fence, keeping the most brutal cold air far to the north and away from the United States. This is why our winters are usually manageable. However, sometimes the polar vortex can become weak or disrupted. When this happens, it can wobble and stretch, sending pieces of that intensely frigid air southward. A strong ridge of high pressure, which is an area of warm air, is expected to build up over the west coast of North America and extend all the way up to Alaska. This warmth acts like a giant roadblock, forcing the jet stream to dive south and opening a direct pathway for Arctic air to come pouring down. When we hear the word blizzard, many of us just think of a lot of snow. But a blizzard is a specific and very dangerous type of winter storm. The official definition of a blizzard has three key parts. First, strong, sustained winds of at least 35 miles per hour. Second, blowing and drifting snow. Reduced visibility to less than 1/4 of a mile. Very difficult to see anything in front of you. Third, conditions lasting typically 3 hours or more. A storm doesn't need new snow. Strong winds picking up snow on the ground can create a blizzard. The models are showing a storm with all the ingredients to become a major blizzard. It could also be a nor'easter. A nor'easter forms along the east coast of North America, named for strong northeasterly winds from the ocean. The potential is there for a truly memorable and impactful winter storm. The reason these winter storms become so powerful is because of a fundamental battle in the atmosphere. The clash between air masses. Warm, moist air. Cold, dry air. Think of them as two giant armies meeting on a battlefield. The line where they meet is called a front. In the case of this potential blizzard, we have an enormous mass of Arctic air pushing south. At the same time, the storm over the ocean pulls warm, humid air north from the Atlantic. When these air masses collide, the lighter warm air is forced up and over the heavy cold air. As that warm, moist air rises, it cools. Water vapor condenses into droplets or ice crystals, forming clouds. If there's enough moisture and lift, clouds grow large and heavy, and precipitation falls. Where the air near the ground is below 32 degrees Fahrenheit, it falls as snow. The stronger the clash, the more lift, and the heavier the snow. Biggest storms sit right on the edge of the coldest air. A nor'easter is the perfect machine. It drags Arctic air in from the west and north, and moisture from the east, creating a sharp temperature gradient. That sharp contrast fuels rapid strengthening and enormous snowfall. One of the most remarkable things about this predicted pattern is the potential for snow in places that rarely see it. When we talk about the Deep South, states like Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, snow is a rare treat. Many people might only see measurable snow once every 5 or 10 years. However, the Arctic air mass is so cold and deep that it could bring a significant snowfall chance to these areas. This would be historic and memorable for millions accustomed to milder winters. For snow to fall and stick in the south, you need cold air at the surface and at or below freezing ground. This powerful blast drops temperatures well below freezing, setting the stage. Next, you need moisture. the right storm track to pull Gulf moisture over the cold air. Recent runs have shown scenarios with heavy snow bands into parts of Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. Not a final forecast, but a sign of what's possible. A freezing rain event along the coast would be catastrophic, as infrastructure isn't built for it. Even a few inches in cities like Atlanta or Birmingham could cause widespread closures and travel problems. Small amounts go a long way here. When forecasters talk about historic or record-breaking cold, it helps to have some context. How does this potential event compare to major cold spells from the past? Many along the East Coast remember the winters of 2013 to 2014 and 2014 to 2015, famous for repeated visits from the polar vortex, bringing brutal cold and heavy snow. Boston, for example, saw record-breaking snow in 2014 to 2015. The coming cold spell could be even more severe in some ways. The intensity and southern reach of the cold look extraordinary. We could see below-zero temperatures in places like Tennessee and North Carolina, with highs struggling out of the teens. If a major blizzard develops and tracks up the coast, comparisons to the storm of the century in 1993 will be inevitable. A storm delivering 1 to 2 feet or more across multiple metro areas would rank among the biggest of the 21st century so far. What makes this so unusual is the combination of extreme cold with an active storm track, a pairing we haven't seen in many years and one we could talk about for a long time. While the potential is very real and growing more likely, it is crucial to remember that this is not a final forecast. We are still several days away. In weather forecasting, a lot can change in a few days. Models are our best guide, but not perfect. A small change thousands of miles away can alter the track and intensity over your area. This is called the butterfly effect. Think of the forecast as a journey. The destination looks cold and snowy, but the exact route is still being worked out. A 50-mile shift east or west can mean coastal rain and inland snow, or vice versa. Confidence in the severe cold is higher than in exact snow details. The large-scale pattern is clear. We'll keep watching runs hour by hour, tracking trends and refining the forecast. With the threat of extreme cold and a possible blizzard on the horizon, the most important thing you can do is prepare. Make sure your heating system is working properly. Seal up drafts around windows and doors. Prevent frozen pipes. Let faucets drip slowly during the coldest nights. Have an emergency kit. Flashlights with extra batteries, a phone power bank, blankets, a first aid kit, non-perishable food, water for 3 days, and any needed medications. Dress in layers with a waterproof outer layer. Wear a hat, gloves, and a scarf. Limit time outside. Check on neighbors, especially the elderly, and bring pets indoors. Stay informed with the National Weather Service and local officials, and follow guidance on travel and closures. By preparing ahead and following official guidance, we can get through this historic winter weather event safely.